Avaloketeshvara. This is Sakina Bhatt and welcome to Tibet This Week, a weekly news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Central Tibetan Administration. Let's look at the headlines. China arrests Tibetans for contacts in exile. Tibetans to dedicate Avaloketeshvara mantra on His Holiness's 86th birthday. There is nothing to celebrate, Sikyong on 100 years of Chinese Communist Party. Swiss-Tibetan Friendship Association and Tibet Bureau Geneva charts work plan for Tibet. French Senate Tibet Support Group hosts introductory meeting of new members. Third Tibet Environment Conference on significance of Tibetan ecology on global climate. Several Tibetans in Dhiru County, Nakchu, in the so-called Tibet Autonomous Region, were arrested by the Chinese authorities for contacting Tibetans in exile. The arrests have reportedly taken place in April 2021. One Tibetan, 44-year-old Gyaltsen, has been identified, but the names of the others are not yet known. Gyaltsen is a father of 4 children and a resident of Meri Village, Tsala Township, Dhiru County, Nakchu Prefecture. According to the source, Gyaltsen would often encourage other Tibetans to study and preserve the Tibetan language and to maintain unity amongst each other. He also promoted the protection of the fragile Tibetan environment. The Office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Cabinet of Central Tibetan Administration have urged all Tibetans to dedicate mantra of Avaloketeshvara on the upcoming 86th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In the light of the ongoing pandemic, Kasha Secretariat directed all monasteries and settlements to avoid congregation of public and instead mark the day as per traditions, offering of the mandala and white scarves to the portrait of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. As China celebrated the 100th founding anniversary of Communist Party of China this Thursday, the president of Central Tibetan Administration said that there is nothing to celebrate in a situation where the leaders fail to look after the welfare of the people whom they rule. Sikyong, on being asked for a statement on the day, said that it is evident China has failed to bring peace for Tibetans in Tibet and that China must be the only country that spends more on controlling people under its rule than on defense. Chinese government's act of controlling Tibetans and disrespecting their rights and freedom has once again been witnessed in a video that recently surfaced on social media. A video taken by a Tibetan in the capital city of Tibet, Lhasa, shows the deeply hurt sentiments of the Tibetans under Chinese rule.
Only Dinalia Pege Gana Chibuchik Chi Kasueta, Daniel Sungapshiale, and Nalia Susu Mimangania, Tandrashia, Tantizutolia, Rosoma, Tanti, Pernalolia, Pemidicated to eat to Melody, Ranching Sibri, and Tanichi, Karato Shuchi, Ubig Nedanchi, Tony Chagio Maris.
Representative Ngodub Sering and Sultan Gatso of Office of Tibet, Washington, D.C. attended a seminar on 100 Years of China with Chinese Communist Party with prominent Chinese democracy leaders. The discussion highlighted evil impacts of the Chinese Communist Party, including the destruction brought upon Tibet's culture, language, and religion. They also spoke about middle way approach and the atrocities inflicted by the Chinese authorities on the Tibetans residing in Tibet. Tibet Bureau Geneva and representatives from Swiss-Tibetan Friendship Association met to discuss action plans for Tibet in the French-speaking part of Switzerland, especially in Geneva, on Thursday last week. A wide range of issues were discussed at the meeting, including future Tibet advocacy plans, grassroots-level advocacy work, and policy matters at the cantonal and city level of Geneva. President of the association Thomas Buckley, former parliamentarian and mayor René Longuet, and former councillor of City of Geneva Margaret Contat met with representative of Tibet Bureau Geneva and the staff members. Tibetans in Switzerland and Liechtenstein submitted a 5-point appeal to the United Nations that calls for an end to China's cultural genocide in Tibet, its interference in Tibetan religious beliefs and traditions, among others, on Friday last week. The protest was staged in front of the United Nations Human Rights Office during the ongoing 47th regular session of the UN Human Rights Council. French Senate Tibet Support Group hosted Tibetan local representatives for an introductory meeting of new members of the group on Wednesday this week. The meeting saw discussions on Tibetan Parliament in Exile, CTA's middle way policy, critical human rights situation in Tibet, Tibet's environment, preservation of Tibetan language and culture, and expansion of weekend schools in Paris. The Environment and Development Desk of Tibet Policy Institute organized the 3rd Tibet Environment Conference, a 3-day international virtual conference that started on June 25th. Prominent lawmakers, leading strategists, environmental advocates, and 15 foremost environmental experts from 8 countries attended the conference to examine the Tibetan Plateau's ecological role and relationship with the global climate change. So much for this week. See you next time and have a good weekend.